other people and how they represent those words. And the last, the way author of text turn, open, and reinforce the larger system of belief and knowledge that govern what counts as right or wrong, good or bad, and normal or abnormal in particular society. Next, who doing what? The linguist Michelle Halliday in 1994 pointed out that whenever we use language, we are always doing three things at once. The first, we are in some way representing the word called ideational function of language. And the second, we are creating, ratifying, or negotiating our relationship with the people with whom we are communicating, called the interpersonal function of language. And the second, we are joining sentences and ideas together in particular ways to form cohesive and coherent text called the textual function of language. All of these functions play a role in the way a text promotes as a particular ideology or worldwide worldview. Sorry. Nah, this one, this is I think the three meta function of language from textual function, ideational function, and interpersonal function. Textual function this one is to link complex ideas together into cohesive and coherent wave of information, while ideational function to enact social relationships to cooperate, form bonds, negotiate, ask for things, or to instruct. Oh, sorry, interpersonal. I mean, while ideational is to talk about experience, people, and things, their action and relationship, places, time, or circumstance in what even occur. So by looking at the different types of clauses we use and how we use them, we can
Constraint.
see how language help us to do these things. Next, relationships. We construct relationship through work. We choose to express things like certainty and obligation, known as the system of modality in our language. The traditional priests, for example, typically say, "You may now kiss the bridge," rather than "kiss the bridge." So intertextuality. It is the relationship text create with other text. Intertextuality is another important way ideologies are promoted in discourse. All texts involve some degree of intertextuality. We cannot speak or write or argue without borrowing the word and ideas of other people. The next, cultural models. Cultural models are sets of expectation that we have about how different kinds of people should behave and communicate in different situations. They serve an important role in helping us make sense of the text and the situation that we encounter in our lives. You may not kiss the bridge, for example, then does not just enforce the theory about how bride and groom are supposed to act during a marriage ceremony, but also involve broader theories about marriage, gender relation, love, sex, morality, and economics. All of these theories are part of a system discourse, which we may call discourse of marriage. The next discourses can exert a tremendous power over us by creating constraint regarding how certain things can be talked about and what count as knowledge in context. Next, spoken discourse. In many ways, speech is not so different from writing. The first, when people speak, they also produce different kinds of genres. The second, use different kinds of social languages. And the third, also promote particular version of reality or ideologies. But there are some ways in which speech is very different from writing. The first, speech is more interactive. Speech tends to be more transient and spontaneous than writing. And the next, while some genre like formal speeches and lectures are planned, most casual conversation is just made up and as we go along. And then the fourth, speech tend to be less explicit than writing. Speech also usually takes place in some kind of physical context. And then kind of speech, spoken discourse that have distinguished features, telephone conversation, television and cinema, instant messaging, and text-based computer chat. Pragmatic, the study of how people use to accomplish action in their conversation. Action like requesting, threatening, and apologizing. Conversation analysis, this one comes out and a traditional in sociology called ethnomethodology, which focus on the methods ordinary members of a society use to interact with one another and interpret their experience. Okay, from strategic interaction will be delivered by Mr. Zainuddin. Times back to you, Bu Bin. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the nice presentation from the second speaker, Mr. Twismono. Thank you. The next turn will be delivered by Mr. Zainuddin. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Vivi. Okay, after having a presentation about what discourse is and uh, how the relationship with discourse with ideology, etc., I'd like to continue our group presentation. Okay, strategic interactions, conversation. Conversations happen when multiple actions are put together to form activities such as we chat, we debate, we flirt, we cancel, we gossip, we commiserate, and we do many other things in our conversations. Conversational strategies. It is the methods we use to engage in the former negotiations, such as debating, flirting, commiserating, etc. There are two basic kinds of conversational strategies here. First, number one is phase strategies. In this case, you have to do primarily with showing who we are and what kind of relationship we have with the people with whom we are talking to. Number two, framing strategies. In this case, you have more to do with showing that what we are doing in the conversation, whether we are, for example, arguing, teasing, flirting, or gossiping. Okay, phase strategies. We define phase as the negotiated public image mutually granted to each other by participants in a communicative event. There are three important aspects to this definition. One, is that one's face is one's public image rather than one's true self. Two, is result of kind of give and take with the person or people with whom we are interacting. Three, is successfully presenting a certain face in interaction depends on the people with whom we are interact cooperation with us. And there are two kinds of face strategies. One, what so-called involvement strategies. It's kind of strategy we use to establish for maintain closeness with the people to show them that we consider them our friends, like calling people by their first names or using nicknames. Two, uh, what so-called independent strategies. In this case, strategies we use to establish or maintain distance from the people with whom we are interacting, either because we are not their friends or we wish to show them respect, like using more formal language and terms of address. Okay, here we have some examples of informal strategies and also independent ones. For example, in informal we use using first names or nicknames. For example, hi or Dwi, Yeni, Vivin. We using the first name or nicknames. And for the independent ones, we using the titles. For example, Mr., Mrs., Professor, Doctor, or Good morning, etc. Uh, in using informal language like kota, minute, using formal language one, excuse me, uh, can you help me? Example. For being direct, uh, example, like, let's go to the cinema. Or being indirect one, I wonder if I can borrow your pen. Uh, Talking about, for example, using us and talking about things other than using us. Being voluble means that talking a lot, and being taciturn, it's about not talking a lot. Okay, the second one is framing strategies. It is sets of expectation about what kind of things will be said and how those things ought to be interpreted for different kinds of activities. A primary framework, it is set of expectations about the overall activity in which we will be engaged. Example, when we are a patient in a medical examination, we expect that the doctor will touch us, and we interpret this behavior as a method for diagnosing our particular medical problem. However, hardly ever involves just one activity. We often engage in a variety of different activities within the primary framework. It is an example. While lecturing, a lecturer might give explanations, tell jokes, or even rebuke members of the audience if they are not paying attention. Okay, I think that's all our group presentations. Suggestions, comments welcome, but for the questions, maybe we can share our own opinions together. Thank you. We give it back to Bu Wibin.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jainuddin. For the last presenter of discourse analysis, completed with some example how to use the discourse analysis itself. Okay, friends, and the class, please give your comment, your response, your opinion about the theory or the theory about discourse analysis that have been discussed by and explained by the group one. Maybe you have some opinion the question, please, you can directly spoken or maybe you can write on the chat box. But it is better if you directly uh, share your opinion. I open the first session for one or two members, please. Okay, there is a question from. Okay, if necessary, ask the one. Okay, everybody, please turn off the cam. Please show your camera. Please turn on your cam so we can discuss together, just like to meet each other in a class. Thank you. Okay, please, everyone who will deliver the question or maybe the opinion, please.
Pak Taufik.
Yes, Pak.
Okay.
Oh, Pak Taufik. Okay, Pak Taufik, the first question or opinion, please deliver directly to the group. Time is up.
Okay, thank you to Vivian and the first group the of this group. I have the question. The question is there are a number of reasons for studying discourse analysis, but actually, why do we need to study discourse analysis? Especially, we are a teacher. Before we study the discourse analysis, my first question. After that, we discuss and I try to understand actually what is discourse. I read in some link that discourse in Indonesia is diskursus is wacana. Is it right? So please explain to us about it. Thank you, Bu Wiwin, and thank you before for the answer for my question.
Okay, Pak Taufik, there is two questions. There are two questions from Mr. Taufik. The first is, why do we need to study discourse analysis, especially for the teachers? And then the second is, what is discourse analysis in a simple sentence? Is that true, Pak Taufik?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will give the group one to discuss, or maybe directly. Please explain to us about Mr. Taufik questions. Maybe Mr. Dwi or Ma'am Yeni. Bu Yeni first, please explain to us about the two questions. Maybe all of us also need the explanation. That's
Okay,
right, that discourse
thank
is wacana gitu.
yeah, thank you, Bu Wiwin. I will try to answer Pak Taufik question. Why do we need study of discourse? Since from the definition, discourse analysis or discourse study is an approach to the analysis of written, vocal, or sign language use any significant semiotic event. For example, Pak Taufik, if Pak Taufik uh, in Indonesian, Pak Taufik jika lihat tulisan M warna kuning itu yang ada tulisannya I'm loving it. What do you think, Pak Taufik?
Sir.
Yeah, if you see the yellow M and then in the bottom ada tulisannya I'm loving it. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I can't understand. Can you help me,
Gmail.
Wiwin? What is it?
Yeah, jika ada tulisan di restoran besar itu ada tulisan M warna kuning dan di bawahnya I'm loving it. What in your opinion, Pak Taufik? Itu kayak semacam itu kan it is a kind of discourse, right, Pak Dias? Ya,
Sign
McD,
that
Pak Topik.
everybody knows McD itu.
ya itu kan McD. Without tanpa ada tulisan McD pun kita tahu itu ada McD. That is a kind of discourse because for example P disilang itu kan dilarang parkir, nah, seperti itu termasuk discourse, Pak. So
Yes.
without any further explanation, we know that that one is restaurant, that one is do not park here, and then ya seperti itu, Pak. So the object of discourse are variously defined in terms of proporsional apa namanya sign itu tadi. Ya, yeah. That's my answer, Pak Taufik. Maybe the others will add.
Okay, thank you, Pak Dwi. I think I would like to add the information about why we need to learn about discourse and what is discourse analysis. Discourse analysis actually it is used to analyze written and spoken text. And why do we need it? Because the analysis can be used of various perspectives. It can be from pragmatic, social analysis, and we are as an English teacher or we are teaching language. Of course, we have to know about this study. We are teaching spoken and written text, right, to our students. Of course, we have to know about discourse analysis, although maybe not very in general, but at least we have to teach our students how to write something, how to read something, even it is in the form of written or spoken. Pak Taufik, so we must know about this because we are English teachers. This is my answer.
Okay, Pak Taufik.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Zain want to add the explanation, please.
Okay. I just need some more information about the importance of discourse analysis. I think all it's all answered by my friends Patri and Puyeni, but I just want to highlight here that discourse exists in our lives. It exists around us. It's when talking about discourse, it means that we talk about anything around us, including as stated by Puyeni, oral or written form. Interaction, for example, face-to-face talk, even non-verbal interaction, images, and symbols, as stated by Pak Dwi with the symbol of W and the writing under the symbol. I'm loving it. So this is important for us to study discourse analysis because it exists in our surroundings, in our lives, in social life. And about the reason as English teacher we need to study discourse analysis, yes, because we teach our students, yeah, and we interact with our students both in form of oral and spoken forms. So it means that we create a discourse, and we of course that what any relationship, any interaction that we create between our students and us, it it means that there is discourse there. I think so. Thank you,
Okay, thank
Vivian.
you very much for the explanation from all of the member of the groups. Pak Taufik, is that enough for you? Enough for you? Mr. Diaz
Yes.
raised his hand. Please, Pak Diaz.
Okay, thank you. And first of all, I would like to say that was very great presentation conducted by Pak Dwi, Bu Yeni, and Pak Zen. That was very great presentation, and I learned a lot from your slides. I got some knowledge and information that you are just presented today. Dealing with the questions first, why do we need studying discourse or learning discourse analysis regarding with our background knowledge as the teacher or as the English teacher? Thank you for the question, Pak Topik. So you are true, Pak Topik, and Pak Dwi, Bu Yeni, and Pak Jen, your answers are correct. Discourse in bahasa it is called as diskursus, or diskursus it is the same as wacana. All right. So we are going to use discourse in our surrounding, whether in written form or in spoken form. All right. So in our department, discourse studies is one of the powerful lectures because there are no curriculum discourse analysis or discourse studies in other, you know, Master of English Education of other universities. Okay, the things that we need to underline is we should relate that discourse studies here with the background of our provisions as teachers, including in English language teaching. So, topic, when you are teaching your students, when you are interacting with your students, you use discourse actually. You use spoken discourse. You are facing strategies. All right. So while you are facing strategies, you use the discourse actually, spoken discourse. On the other occasion, when you giving speech in front of your teacher's mate, in front of your students, you are doing framing strategy. And framing strategy, it is included in spoken discourse. All right. So when we want to have what kind of written discourse that we are going to use in our English teaching session, like when you give some text or texture, okay, example, descriptive text or narrative text or recount text or procedure text. Actually, those texts, it is a part of written discourse. In that written discourse, the text consisted linguistic structure, social function, linguistic structure, and generic structure. All right. So while doing social function, generic structure, and linguistic structure, those part of written discourse structure. Okay. Then, if we want to analyze more, actually, the text which is published in high high schools, whether in Sunni High School or Chini High Schools, the text is the lower analysis text. Because when we talk about linguistic structure, we talk about tenses, we talk about the surface structure, we talk about the traditional structure. When we have the text descriptive text, for example, describing a people, describing a place, describing a thing, we ask our student to analyze using traditional grammar or surface grammar. For example, Mr. Jokowi is a thin and tall guy. So it's a thin and a tall guy. We analyzing it using tenses. Mr. Jokowi is subject, is to be, okay, thin and tall adjective, okay. So subject plus adjective, it is a sentence. But when we want to do more, analyzing using discourse studies, written discourse studies, we may analyze it using language metafunction. When we want to approach using textual function, for example, we can analyze Mr. Jokowi, it is theme, is thin and tall, it is rhyme. So when we talk about textual function, we talk about theme and rhyme. We talk about coherence and cohesions. Moreover, when we talk about interpersonal function, we talk about mood and residue. So Mr. Jokowi, it is mood, is thin and tall, it is residue. Okay. Again, additionally, when we talk about additional function, we talk about the process. Mr. Jokowi is the agent, is thin and tall. It is a relational process. All right, relational process, not to be anymore, but relational process. But if you have a sentence like Mr. Jokowi works hard, so works here is material process. If we talk about projecting process, example, Mr. Jokowi is not working hard, is not, it is projecting process. So again, we can use discourse studies, all right, approach to do many more with the text, and we can analyze to our students about the text that we are going to give to them. So the text is not about tenses, but the text, it could be more about systemic functional linguistic or language metafunction. Additionally, Pak Dwi gave you examples like the symbol or the sign of M in MACD, all right, with the phrase I'm loving it. The question is why loving? Because based on the traditional grammar, we cannot give gerunds, we cannot give ing after love, after like. Okay, we cannot say I am liking you. We cannot say traditional grammar. We cannot say I am loving you. We cannot say traditional grammar. But based on this discourse studies approach, we can use it, right? We can use it. I'm loving it. It means that while we are entering and consuming McDonald products, all right, automatically our feeling will be different from other products. I'm loving it at the time. Okay. It will be the same examples when there is a product of cigarette, all right, which entitled blackening the city, blackening the city, blackening. Actually, based on the traditional grammar, we cannot use add adding ing after the word black. We cannot. Okay. Example, if we want to say white, we can say whitening, not whiting, whitening. If we want to say black, we can say blackening, not blacking. But again, in advertisement, they don't care about the traditional grammar. They care about the discourse. All right. So one more examples in cultural models, like Pak Dwi Wismono said, okay, in every country, in every society, they have their own wedding ceremony. They have their own marriage ceremony. All right. Wedding ceremony, marriage ceremony, they have their own particular discourse. In Japanese ceremony, all right, we use bahasa Jawa Kromo, we use Japanese language, all right, with the very systemic and functioning. All right. When we are attending in, another province or another country, they have their different particular discourse, merits within. All right. So discourse is there. All right. Discourse is there. One last example in medical words or in medical's phrases. All right. So the doctor will always say, "What do you feel? What is happening with you?" and so on and so on. The word examining is very popular, all right, in medical terms. But then the word examine is different from if it is said by the teacher, by the lecturers, right? That is the discourse. So discourse will exist in different particular. It depends on who, when, what, how. You get my point? In framing conversation, for example, okay, when I am saying I love you with my daughters, that will be the meaning is family love, caring, caring, all right, with my daughter. But it may be different if it is said by Pak Dwi to Lina, example, I love you. Different meaning,
To Matias.
all right. That is the discourse. That is the framing. You get my point? Pak Topik?
Yes. So,
Okay, that's all from me, Bu Wiwin. You can continue for the
Okay,
other discussions.
so thank you very much, Padias. You have highlight Mr. Taufik question, and for us who are very curious to know about the use of discourse analysis in our life, or especially in teaching and learning process. So we have to know that the use of discourse analysis based on the use, where, when, and with whom we are talking to, and also the culture, the country, etc. Okay, okay, class, is there any other question or
Me,
opinion
ma'am.
about this discussion, please? Gusiska,
Yeah.
please, time
Okay.
is yours.
Thank you, Ma'am Win. Uh, Here I want to ask about discourse. How can we understand discourse easily, especially in analyzing? Is there a certain formula to analyze it? That's my question. And thank you, Ma'am Win.
Okay, ma'am, sis, Gusiska. For the question is, thank you for the question. How can we understand the discourse? How to analyze, especially in how to analyze it? Why there is word analyze? So the question is how to do the analyze it, the word or maybe the sentence, the use of discourse itself. Okay, the group, I will. We will wait for your explanation. Uyeni, Dwi, and Jainuddin, Mr. Zainuddin. Can you explain about how to analyze it in a discourse analyze? Why it is, as it discourse analyze it? Is it special term how to analyze it? Is that
Yeah,
so?
excuse me, Ma'am Win. Maybe some of our friends can, want to try to give their opinion first before we will try to
Okay.
respond.
Because
Because,
it is the
yeah.
discussion class, so
Mhm.
friends, maybe the other have the knowledge about it and can explain or share opinion about what is the discourse analysis, especially in how to analyze it. Is there any special terms, or is there any special way how to analyze such kind of discourse? But I actually that what Mr. Tia said about the sentence about tadi Mr. Jokowi. Can you remind me, Ma'am Yeni, what is the sentence? So we can analyze the sentence from grammar. So from the subject, and then the predicate or the verb that use, and then grammarly, we can know about the form of the sentence, the structure.
Mr.
Yeah.
Jokowi
Wiwin,
is a hard
Yes.
worker.
Yeah. Mr.
Wiwin,
Jokowi. Yeah. Yes, Pak.
Pero is raising hand.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Pero, do you have any idea about this? Feras and Maram, please.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everybody. I have a question.
Mhm.
What is the purpose of facial expressions in discourse analysis?
Oh, is it a question, Madam?
Yes, a question.
Oh, okay. Okay, a question.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the discourse analysis?
No, what is the purpose of facial expressions in discourse analysis?
Social expression in discourse
Facial,
analysis.
facial expressions. Facial expressions.
Facial, Ma'am Win. Facial.
Sama muka.
Muka, Ma'am. Facial expression. Raut muka, Ma'am.
Facial, okay, okay.
Ekspresi wajah.
Okay, Ma'am Yeni, can you directly answer first for Myron's question about what is the...
Is it for Maram first or still Pusiska, ma'am?
Okay, thank you. Madam, can you hold on for a moment after
Yeah.
the first question from Francisca? Okay, the group, are you ready to answer Francisca? The first question, please.
Okay, this is about Ma'am Siska. How to learn discourse easily. Is there any certain formula how to learn? I think, is that the question in short, ma'am? How to learn or understand discourse easily? Is that?
Yes.
Maybe how to analyze or...
Ma'am Siska,
No. Yeah.
can you repeat once again?
How can we understand
Easily.
discourse easily?
Yeah,
Right.
easily. And
Especially
then, is there
analyzing.
any certain formula? Is that
To analyze it.
to analyze it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. To know or to understand about discourse is, of course, we need the knowledge about that. If it is our daily life, it deals with our daily life. Maybe it's not really deep knowledge we need, but if we have to know in the formal discourse, for example, when we are doing what is it, writing kind of articles, text, of course, we have to know the things that relate about it, like cohesion, coherence, the functions of the social function, the genetic structure, etc., etc., about this. But if it is about something surround us, we need the knowledge, but not deep one, because it is easily to understand actually. Like what Maram asked the question, facial expression. We will continue next, but it relates, I think. For example, when we see some signs of traffic lights, and it is a general knowledge, right? If we know the letter P, so we are parking here, and if there is any other signs, so we have to know. I think it is easy, right? But it would be different if we are talking about discourse in the education. We need certain uh, knowledge about this. We need to study. So that's why we have to know the discourse analysis study or approach, maybe. Nah. And then, is there any certain formula to analyze it? I think that depends on our understanding, on how we understand the meaning in the discourse, and then the maybe what else? If we are there is no specific formula, I think, but it depends on our own capability or competence about translating, understanding the words, the signs, or the symbols given in the discourse. So maybe we need more and more reading and understanding about this. Maybe back to the end, but then we'll add the information, or please we can invite all the members of this class to give your ideas, Bu Wiwin. But Yefta, maybe she raises the hand, maybe she wants to add something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, Yafta, time is yours.
Only some additional. I want to add some additional information about how to discuss or how to easily define discourse analysis. Perhaps we can. We need to define. We need to choose one course first. For example, there are four basic skills in English, maybe writing or
Sorry, I can hear your voice clearly.
Your voice is not so clear, Mbak Yefta.
kecil ya, Pak. Okay.
Maybe you
Putus-putus,
can
Mbak
write down
Yefta.
on the chat box, Miss Yafta.
Repeat, Mbak.
We can hear anything.
Still mute,
Sudah,
Mbak.
sudah kedengaran, Bu?
Okay,
Yeah.
please try.
Sudah jelas.
Ya, sudah jelas.
Oh iya. Maybe just additional information from I just added for with Bu Yeni about how to define the discourse analysis. First one, we need to choose one discourse. For example, there are four basic skills in our English. Those are speaking or reading or writing or listening. I just show the example of the basic skills, and then if you already chosen the discourse, those are the four basic skills, and then take let's find out more information about that. For example, maybe speaking. So we need to know more about the information about speaking, about the context, about the theory of the speaking. And then the third step, you have to analyze the pattern, analyze the structure, or analyze the themes of the course. And the last, you can review of the results, what you have found in that discourse analysis. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Yafta.
Thank you, Mbak Yefta.
Yes, Bu.
Francisca, is that enough? Okay, now Pak Dias want to say something? Please, Pak Dias.
Yeah, we are waiting for you.
Okay, Ibu Yefta, thank you for this additional information. That is true what Bu Yefta already mentioned. There are some procedure in analyzing the spokens conducted by the students or conducted by teacher and student, student and student, teacher, and so on and so on. All right, there are some, you know, some stages in analyzing conversational analysis. So Ibu Yefta, that was very smart questions. Is there any certain or particular formula in analyzing a text, whether written text or spoken text, using discourse approach or discourse studies approach? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, Ibu Siska. Ibu Siska, discourse studies or discourse analysis, it is like the big house. In that house, you will find rooms. Room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4, dining room, bedroom, lavatory, and you will find so many things. All right, there is a door, there is a window, there is a wall, and so on and so on. So discourse analysis is that the big one. So if you want to get the certain formula, it depends on what kind of the things that you are going to use. If you want to enter bedroom, for example, I can say this bedroom is like pragmatics, for example. So in analyzing pragmatics, you may use locutionary X, perlocutionary X, and illocutionary X. All right. So in analyzing pragmatics, that is part of the discourse, you use that formula. Okay, Bu Siska? Again, if you want to analyze using systemic functional linguistic or language metafunction, you are going to face these stages: ideational functions, interpersonal function, and textual function. So thus among three functions is the formula in analyzing a text, all right, using discourse approach. Again, if you want to analyze speech, all right, delivered by very popular top leaders in the world, by Barack Obama, by Putin, by Jokowi, by any top leaders in the world, you may use appraisal. All right, you may use appraisal. If you want to analyzing using appraisal, you are going to have the formula like analyzing using attitudes, analyzing engagements, and analyzing graduations. All right. So again, Ibu Siska, it depends on what rooms, what part of discourse that you are going to analyze. Okay, because discourse is a big. Okay. And questions from Maram and Veras. Can we use, or what is the purpose of facial expression? Okay, facial expression, it is part of the discourse approach. In spite of facial expression, there is verbal expression. All right. So we always use our facial expression when we do conversational analysis, when we do framing discourse or facing discourse. All right. Param and Meras, if you are happy when you speak to other people's, your facial expression represented that you are happy with the verbal expression that you are going to produce. It is impossible if you are happy, but you are mentioning something sad news. Otherwise, it is very impossible if you are sad, all right, but you talk something happiness to your friends with the facial expressions produce is happiness. So again, while you are getting angry, all right, your facial expression represent that you are angry, even though you do not produce any kind of words. All right. So we can analyze facial expression this to analyze, all right, the ones whether the one is happiness or sorry, the one is happy, the one is sad, the one is uh, in
Disappointed.
conditions, disappointed, and so on and so on. So facial expression always there, and facial expression, it has a meaning without any words producing. That is the facial expression. All right. So again, we can analyze this facial expression because this facial expression is one of the discourse branches. Okay, and verbal expression as well as one of the discourse branches. But we can analyze facial expression here in spoken discourse, in movie, in dialogue, in conversations, in speech, right, and so on. Paras Meran, can it be understood?
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Okay, go
Thank you.
on. Back to Bu Wiwin.
Thank you very much, Dias. So you have explained about the discourse like a big house. So maybe facial expression is a part of the room itself in the house. Maybe also the emoticon when we do in chat and so on can express many things.
That's
Okay,
very
I
great, Bu
think
Wiwin.
yes.
Emoticons, it is part of the discourse.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
emoticons. So if you are
Mhm.
smiling, so your emoticon is smiling emoticons, right? So emoticon actually it is part of the discourse production.
Okay, and that is why it is better for us to show our face when attending the class so we can see what you feel now. You are happy, you are present in the room
You
like
are
we look
confused.
each other.
Views.
Yes.
Smiling.
Maybe you are sleepy and so on.
You are
Okay.
nervous.
It seems that
Pucat.
this class is so interesting that there are some opinions from our friends and also Mbak Tias raise your hand. Yeah, I will give the time to Miss Tias first. Please, Mbak Tias.
Okay, thank you, Mom Win. So I wanna ask something. It's like about we talk about discourse like a facial expression, like Mr. Dia said before. For me, it's like facial expression for kids. We are 20, maybe 30, maybe 40 more. Is that facial expression is important for adult?
Sorry,
Because
Mbak
it's
Tias,
like
can you
your
repeat once again?
Can you open your cam,
yeah,
Mbak
your
Tia, so
facial
we can
expression.
see
If
your
you're happy,
facial
you smile.
expression?
If you
Where are
sorry,
you, Mbak Tias?
Yes, your smiling face is
Tuh kan saya
I
bilang
didn't
juga
wait
apa ya.
the
We,
most important for
really
Pak Dwi.
missing you so much.
nanti melek
Saya
semua,
bilang
Bu.
juga
We
apa.
we miss you, Mbak Tias.
You,
Later,
especially
later,
who?
later. After I wear my dress.
Okay.
It's not really not properly dressed for
You
us.
will get A if you are showing your face.
No thanks.
We wait for your real picture in the WhatsApp group
Pak
after
Dwi will
this.
melek directly.
Yes.
Taufik, Pak Dwi, semuanya oh melek. Okay, so that was my question. Is like for adult like us is 30, 40, 50 years old. Is that facial
Sorry,
expression is
I can
important
hear
because
your voice. Can you speak louder, please?
Louder,
oh,
Mbak.
okay, sorry. For adult like
For
us,
adult.
is that facial expression is important because for me is like me, my face is always fucking flat.
Okay.
No matter I'm happy or I'm not happy, just like this that flat face. So how important like facial expression?
Okay.
Because you can say it verbally or facial expression is non-verbally.
Is that enough, Mbak Tias?
I want to know some answer
Mhm.
first, and then maybe I will ask again later.
flat like psychopath ya, Mbak.
I'm not
Uh,
psychopath. It's like someone
okay.
told me that a bit crazy if you don't have facial expression, but I think facial expression just for kids. It's like you teaching kids, you teaching kindergarten. If you're happy, you must smile. So it's not. I don't know. So what do you think?
Okay. It's contrary to much of traditional linguistic, like Pak Dias said. Discourse analysis is not only to study language use in the quotation mark beyond the sentence boundaries, I think, but also what is it? Analyze natural occurring, I think. Yeah, maybe Pak Dias will add. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Dwi, for adding informations, answering Mbak Tia's questions. Mbak Tias, if you mention or if you declare that facial expression is dedicated for kids only, it's not for adult, it is not. I do not strongly agree with your statements. Why? Because again, when we talk about facial expression, on when we talk about a spoken discourse, we can also use appraisal analysis to analyze facial expression and verbal expression. In appraisal analysis, there are three elements. All right, there are three elements. The first one is attitudes. So while you are appearing smile face, you are transferring the attitudes. All right, you are transferring the attitudes. And the second element is engagement. Is engagement. So engagement is the way your body language, your gestures, how to behave while you are interacting with some other peoples, even you are adults. All right. And the third one is graduations. So graduation here is the value. Is the value. If you smile while you are taking conversation with some other people, so actually you are transferring the value. All right. Of course, this value is different from other country value. In Russia, all right, smiling is very dangerous because all people, Russian people over there, they do not smile. All right. If the one is smiling, it is very dangerous. If the one smiling, they have different values. But Indonesian people, when we are smiling, it means that we are very friendly. That's why there are so many Western people love visiting our country, love visiting Bali because Indonesian people love smiling, and smiling transferring value. And in Indonesian value, smile is man that it is friendly. All right. So again, facial expression, it represents the three elements. All right. That is our attitudes, our engagements, and our graduation or value. So we cannot avoid our facial expressions. Okay. We can detect the one who is the one who like us or who doesn't like us from the facial expression. Even though the verbal expression is like, for example, but the facial expression is not like, for example, we can detect it. You can
Okay.
catch my answer,
Okay,
but yes,
so I learned about semiotics, like semiology, and I do know about facial expression and then body language. So maybe I just want to show that because I already know and I already many people body language. Maybe it can be cultural, like because
yeah, cultural modes.
every country is different, so you cannot just like, oh, you're not good person, you're not greeting person just from that why your
Yes,
behavior or your attitude. It's because like we have different culture before, so how to say that to, for example, another people from not Indonesia or another country.
yes, that's true. If we talk about semiotics, there is a facial expression, right, and peer expression. So again, if we try to engage semiotics in discourse studies, okay, we talk about facial expression in line with the appraisals. And when we talk about, again, facial expression, you mentioned that it depends on the culture. It is true because but we already explained to us that cultural models, all right, cultural models consisted in discourse studies. So every country, every regions, every province, they have different culture. All right, and there is a discourse over there. Like Japanese wedding is different from Papua wedding, for example. All right, the way how to recite the wedding, the way how to recite the marriage is different one
No
country to another
touch. No
country.
touching.
Sorry,
No touching.
no touching.
Okay.
Okay,
Not
that
Is that
that
touch.
is
enough?
called as cultural models, like Pak Dwi Wismono just explained to us.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. B. And
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Tia.
Mr. Dwi.
Okay. You just say thank you to
Okay,
only to
yes.
the
Thank
Mr.
you for
Tweez only. Why? Is that a special sign or special
No, it's like
expression?
he look close with
Okay.
that, Mr.
we
D.
learn much culture from you because you spend much of your time with Western culture, maybe, but yeah. So we want to
Yes.
ask more about it in our group. Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much. Is that
Thank you.
I think uh, there is a question or maybe the opinion from Mr. Hassan. But before we continue, or what time we will end it the first discussion, sir?
We can continue for the next group.
Okay, so I will give one more question. Pak Hassan, are you there? Pak Hassan, in the chat box wrote about in your PPT, the discourse can exert a tremendous power over us by creating constraint regarding how certain things can be talked about and what counts as knowledge in particular context. Please give the examples about it. But I think Pak Hassan, you have to explain or deliver your question directly. Pak Hassan, are you there? Please explain about your question. Seems that he's not here or
Sun is not here, ma'am.
okay. So what about the problem? Should we discuss about it or we finish the discussion? Is that enough, Pak Dias?
Yeah, before we take the second group's presentation, I would like to give a little bit about discourse studies or discourse
Okay.
analysis. Everyone, why do we need to study discourse study or discourse analysis? Is like, it is the powerful of lecture, and we learn discourse studies in wider society as well, but then we try to make more specific discourse studies in educational sectors. That why when we talk about discourse studies, we may give examples outside in our surrounding, and we also give example inside in our teaching and learning process or in education sectors. All right, so we can take both. All right, in the wider sense and in narrow sense. In the wider sense is in wider society, and narrow sense is in education society. And sometimes it is very constraining. All right, that is very constraining. Like when we talk something obedience in society, it doesn't mean that it will be also okay in education sectors. All right. Example, when we talk about advertisement in general, using discourse studies, all right, we need to be careful. There are particular advertisement as the example when we want to give example to our students in education society. All right. So that is the different. That is the way how to use discourse studies. All right, in the wider society and narrow society. We can continue, Bu Yuwin, for the next group presentation, please. Thank you, group presentation one, Pak Dwi, Bu Yeni, and Uh,
Zainuddin.
Nudin, and
Okay.
give a close.
Thank you, sir.
Pak
Okay,
Zainul.
Thank
thank you
you.
very
Thank you
much.
all.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you, Pak Dias
Okay.
and Vivin as the moderator.
Thank you very
Bu
much.
Vivin,
Mhm.
I think Bu Siwi will be the moderator for your group.
Nancy, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, for the first presentation, congratulations for group one, and then we will continue to the next, our group. Thank you very much for the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you,
warahmatullahi
Pak
wabarakatuh.
Win.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, Pak Dia, should we continue the next presentation right away?
Yes, please. We are still having some times.
Pak Eko, would you please prepare the PPT?
Yes, please, Bu Siwi. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, Bapak Ibu. Uh,
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon, Bu
ma'am.
Good
yeah,
afternoon, Bu
Siwi.
Siwi and everyone.
Finally, we can
Finally, we
see you
here.
and hear you.
we will start the second presentation from Ibu Wiwin's group. Yeah, they are Pak Eko Susanto, Ibu Wiwin, and Ibu Anissa Mauldi. The presentation is about discourse and society. So let's get down into our business today. For the second presentation, we are going to listen from Pak Eko. Yeah, time is yours, Pak Eko.
Thank you, ma'am. But the first presenter will be Bu Wiwin, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
the first is
Um,
Mami Wiwin, and then the second is Pak Eko,
Mbak
and then
Anissa,
the
and then Pak Eko is the last.
all
Sorry,
right.
I haven't
Yeah.
told you about it.
Okay, it's okay. Mamin, so time is yours. Yeah, to cut the time. Please, time is yours, Mamin.
Let me wait for the adhan here is near the mosque.
Yeah, while we are waiting for the first presenter to present about this, I think it is a good material about discourse and studies, as we know that discourse, learning discourse, it means that we can learn the language and its context and also related to the culture where we live or maybe where we go. So it is very important here to understand which society we live, which society we get along with. Yeah. Are you ready, Mam Wiwin?
Yes,
Okay.
by the way.
Floor is yours, Mam Win.
Thank you, Ma'am Siwi. For the first, I will give the first aside of the next part. Continue to number one, discuss communities and speech. Directly to number one. Okay, now I will share the material from part one until part three, and then the rest of it will be delivered by Ma'am Anissa, and then the last is Pak Eko. Discuss communities and speech. People do, however, have different degrees of membership of discourse communities. That is, discourse communities may consist of close-knit networks of members, such as writers of poetry and the readers, or loose-knit groups of members such as advertising producers, consumers, and contributors to online discussion boards. Discourse communities may also be made up of several overlapping groups of people. People further may be and normally are members of more than just one single discourse community. They were asked to pay attention to the pitch of their voice so that they conveyed a sense of confidence and sincerity in what they said. They were required to talk neither too loudly nor too quietly. They were trained not to drag out what they said, not to speed through what they were saying. They were also required to provide sufficient feedback to their callers so that the callers knew they had been understood. Call center workers also have common goals, that of providing the service of making the sales the center is set up for, common ways of sharing information amongst telephone workers, their own particular service called genres, and their own terminology and vocabulary for the product or service they are dealing with. The second, speech communities and spoken and written discourse. The term speech community is broader than the term discourse community and is also important for the discussion of spoken and written discourse. A speech community in general, linguistics refers to any group of people that speak the same language, such as French, English, or German, etc. Sociologists, however, prefer to use the term speech community in a narrower sense to refer to people who not only use the same language, repertoire, or varieties of a language, but who also have the opportunity to interact with each other. Spoxley, 1998. It is not essential, however, that all members of the speech community know and use all these languages and languages varieties. They will recognize the condition under which other members of community believe it is appropriate to use each of them. In a city such as Shanghai, for example, most local Chinese will know and use standard Mandarin. People who were born and grew up in Shanghai will also most likely know and speak Shanghainese as well, the local dialect of Shanghai, and know where and when to use this dialect. In some setting, Mandarin may be the more appropriate, and in others, Shanghainese. The notion of speech communities is important for the effective use of spoken and written discourse. Sometimes communication may only succeed when speakers recognize that they are part of the same speech community. In defining a speech community, there are a number of factors that help to define a speech community other than just language.